Open the material kit. 2 sheets of translucent plastic and 2 fabric liners. The adhesive surface of the fabric-backed material has a coarse-grained texture. Align the 2 layers to match the shape of the double-sided tape. Then prepare the fabric. If you use fabrics like silkwood and brocade, must be pre-shrunk first. Cut the fabric after pre-shrinking. Cover it with a thin cotton cloth. Set the iron to silk. Iron at the speed of the video. Iron with steam, but don't leave it on for a long time. The fabric will be noticeably smaller after ironing. 2 layers completely overlapping. Glue the adhesive side to the back of the fabric. Set the iron to the silk setting. First, lightly press the interfacing to the fabric. They are not fully fused. Then turn the fabric to the right side. Separated by a thin cotton cloth. Set the temperature to the silk setting. If the temperature is insufficient, use steam. Iron at the speed shown in the video, pressing firmly downward. After ironing, be sure to wait until the fabric has cooled. After the fabric has cooled completely, inspect it. The interfacing should be fully adhered to the fabric. If any separation occurs, please re-iron. After checking that everything is in order, cut out the shape of the lining fabric. Like this, both pieces of fabric are now ready. Take out these 2 pieces of microfiber material. There are 2 circular holes here. Arrange the fabric according to the corresponding shapes. Set these 2 aside. They don't need ironing for now. Now iron this group, ensuring the fabric completely covers the holes. Set to silk or cotton setting for pressing. If ironing is not possible, steam can be used. Weight it down with several books until it cools. After a few minutes, it has cooled down. Check again. The fabric has been laminated with microfiber leather. Trim the fabric according to the shape of the microfiber. Attach a magnetic closure to the bag. Bend it so you can see the two cuts. Follow this cut. Make a small incision with a hobby knife or rectangular. Carefully cut it open. Next, install the magnetic clasp. Installation of the thick part of the magnetic clasp. Align the incision and press it in. Add shims. Flatten the long corners to the sides with the help of a tool. Press to flatten. In the same way, attach magnetic clasps to these two small round pieces. Small round pieces are sewn onto this piece of bag. Here's how it looks when it's sewn. Be careful to leave the threads on the microfiber side at the end. Measure the line 3 times the width of the bag body. After threading the needle on both ends of the thread, align any holes. Two needles are passed through the holes. Two needles pulling thread together. The two lines are equal. The left hand is responsible for tightening the line. Right hand threading suture. Tighten the thread on every stitch. Front and back are sewn. Overlap the threads on the microfiber front for 2 stitches and cut the threads. Then the threads overlap by 1 stitch. The threads are left on the microfiber side. These 2 pieces form the flap of the bag. The fabric can completely cover the holes in the inner ring. Separated by a thin cotton cloth. Set the iron to the silk or cotton setting. The speed of video ironing. The edges are easily overlooked. Press with books until cooled. After a few minutes, check that the fabric is completely aligned and secured. Two pieces of material are ready. Let's identify these two pieces. Because they are more similar in shape, this piece corresponds to the hole here. They all have 3 rows of holes in them. It's not like this one. There's only 2 rows of holes on this side. Leather side up. If you can't tell the leather side apart, you can use the microfiber on the back for comparison. The same as the back is microfiber, the other side is leather. Sewing up the holes inside the bag cover. Measure the quadruple thread that needs to be sutured. Fold it in half, and then in half again, and it's 4 times as much. Start sewing from the hole in the edge. It is not easy to make mistakes. Cross-stitching of 2 threads. The innermost loop of thread is sewn in place. With each of the 2 needles overlapping 1 or 2 stitches, cut the threads. Overlap 2 stitches on the back side of the thread. The threads are left on the back. Measure the line 4 times the length of this section. Sew the holes on the outside. Leave the top 2 rows of holes unsewn for now. Starts and stops at the second hole. The stitching here is relatively simple. The sewn up look. Then sew up the body of the bag. Again, leather side up. It doesn't matter if this one isn't perfectly straight. Align the holes and sew them together. They'll be straight when they're done. The left and right sides of the leather strip are slanted, so pay attention to the direction of the long on the bottom, short on the top. Because this bag is also narrow at the top and wide at the bottom, so the long side is facing down. Be sure to keep an eye on this. Then sew up the holes on the inside. Measure 4 times the length of thread to be sutured. This is a paragraph, then fold it in half. Fold again. These holes on the back. Align are the holes inside the outer frame. Sewing from the second hole. Sewn here, attached to the leather strip. It's just been set here. It's a trapezoid. Narrow at the top and wide at the bottom. The leather must be placed in the right direction. The reverse look. One stitch reinforcement for overlap of splice locations. Reinforce by overlapping one stitch on both sides of the splice. Then check out this piece and sew up the top section. Measure the width of the 4.5 times the line, from the first hole seam to the last hole position. I won't demonstrate this part because it's relatively simple. And then these 2 pieces are sewn together. Sew the top 2 rows of holes together, leather side up. Overall thicker because of more layers. Measure more lines. Measure the quintuple thread that needs to be sutured. This is a paragraph. Measure the quadruple line and then add a section. Start stitching from this hole. How the tree pieces look when they are connected. Then check out all these little leather pieces. Lay it out according to this shape. Leather side up. Lay it out like this bag shape. It's easier to tell which way to go. Ready to be sewn is the side of the bag with the inside of the two sides. After you've sorted out the small leather parts, measure the line 5 times the length of the side leather piece. Leather face to leather face. The stitching is on the inside hole, so be sure to take care. First stitch overlap 1 stitch reinforcement. What the back looks like. Suture downwards. Ignore the curved bits and just align the holes and sew. Then connect the center strip of leather. 2 leathers facing each other. Reinforcement of 1 stitch at the splicing position. Keep stitching. What it looks like coming out the sheet. It looks awkward. Sew the body and back together to make a complete bag. Sew up the center section true. Then add this leather piece and sew it together, again, sewing up the inner holes. Reinforcement with 1 stitch of overlap. Repeat a shot of reinforcement, here. On the second stitch, the needle comes out between the 2 layers of leather. Then sew the holes. If there are any threads left, you can keep stitching. It's the same stitching as before. Again, leather and leather face to face. Keep stitching. This stitch, between the 2 layers of leather. Repeat 1 stitch for reinforcement. Both sides are actually symmetrical. Repeat 1 stitch for reinforcement at splice locations. Sew until the remaining thread is finished. For the remaining holes, measure 4 times the length of the side leather and stitch. Then sew it down. Genuine leather aligned with genuine leather. This stitch only goes through the center of the 2 layers of leather. Sew up the left holes. Prepare to cut the wire. Then sew the small leather pieces together. Measure the line twice the length of the side of the bag. Leather side out. Sew from the bottom pointy corner. Rejoin the stitch at the bottom position and cut the thread. Next, take care of all the threads. Put a little bit of glue into a disposable container. Dip a toothpick into the glue and stick it on the line. Then use small scissors to cut the threads. Then you take out the microfiber patches. After removing the tape, apply a thin layer of glue. Must to add glue to make it strong enough. Attach to the back of the magnetic clasp. Note the symmetry of the two sides. Always keep glue away from leather after use. All the threads are taken care of. Next, connect the back side to the back piece. Measure the 4.5 times line the length of the side of the bag. Repeat the stitch. Sure to overlap one stitch in the piece position. Sure to overlap one stitch in the piece position. Sure to overlap one stitch in the piece position. Sew up the back piece, then sew up the front piece. Measure the line 4 times the total length of the perimeter. Start by sewing this piece separately. Start with the leftmost hole. One stitch overlap in splice position. Sew to the last hole on the right side, overlapping one stitch in the piece position. Next, sew up the side pieces of the package. Attaching the front piece is the same way as attaching the back. Leather splices need to be reinforced by overlapping stitches. Both splices should be reinforced by overlapping one stitch. Finally, take care of all the threads. Remove the film from the magnetic clasp. This part of the lid needs to be pressed to set the shape. You can use a couple of books to press it into shape. It doesn't need to be too heavy, just enough to slightly press down on the lid of the bag. Wait a few hours, the bag looks better. This shoulder strap can be adjusted to the desired length. Adjust the length of the shoulder strap according to the position of the buckle. This adjustment is the longest. With the chain, it will be even longer, cross-bodyable length. Adjust length as needed. This length fits underarm bags.